Rose, and as promised, I am coming back with the pregnancy video and my experience compared to the other two. So this is my third pregnancy. I currently have a 6-year-old and 5-year-old boy, and I can definitely say by far this has probably been one of the most difficultest pregnancies I've ever experienced. So the first one, my 6-year-old, that one was like kinda so-so. I was super heavy with that one. I started out at 125 and ended up at like 200, maybe a little bit over. He came out at 8 pounds and 9 ounces. He was pretty big. He ripped me open so badly down there. It was so hard to sit down. After the postpartum of at least 2 weeks, I had to get stitches and everything. It was so horrible. I ate so much food when I was pregnant with him. It was ridiculous. I would eat so much junk food. I ate fast food. I ate food that I would never eat now. I was eating at McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. I know I love Taco Bell. Just wherever. I was just eating so disgustingly. I do remember feeling like so much pain like underneath the boob area with my first son. It was horrible. I had so much back pain. I was gigantic. That's like the biggest that I've been in my life. I didn't really get much morning sickness with him. I did probably get some nausea. I think I threw up maybe like 2 or 3 times with him throughout the whole pregnancy for the first 2 months. I know I got nausea because I had worked at a deli, a grocery store. I was a assistant manager in the deli department, and we had to cook everything from rotisserie chicken to salmon. Well, yeah, we did cook salmon at that time. It was horrible. So the nausea really stemmed from working there, because outside of work I don't think I really got that nauseous. As far as energy wise, I definitely did have a lot more energy with the first one as well as the second one compared to now. Like I said, I was working, and I worked all the way up until I think 36, 37 weeks. My first one, he came, actually I was induced at 39 weeks with him. The doctor was like, you know, he's getting pretty big, you want to have him? And I'm like, sure, why not? So I did get induced, and that was probably so far the worst delivery, because being induced is no fun. The pain was definitely horrible. The contractions were nothing like the second one. I died from the whole labor and delivery to postpartum. It was not the best experience compared to my second one. My second one, I didn't eat so much. I think I want to say the heaviest I was was probably 160, 170. I don't remember where I started with that one, because my kids are about 14, 15, 16 months apart, something along there. I'll do the math later, but so they're not that far apart, and I had lost a lot of the baby weight from my first one, but I know I was nowhere near, 125 as I was before I was pregnant with the first one. So I don't really remember what I weighed with the second one. I do know that the delivery was nothing, like I said, like the first one. He came out so easy. He came out naturally at 37 weeks. He was born 6 pounds and 1 ounce. The contractions didn't feel anything like it did when I was induced. So hopefully I can, I really do not plan on being induced with this one. Hopefully we can have the same go around with this one. Like I said, as far as eating, I didn't eat so much. I definitely didn't eat so much junk food. I did cook more. I know I probably still ate McDonald's at the time, which I don't eat McDonald's now. You'd probably never see me, not probably, you would never see me eat McDonald's, let alone a fry or even a bottle of water. I don't really care for Dasani water, which I think they still probably have. I did, like I said, I did cook more. probably didn't eat as healthy as I am with this one, but I know, like I said, I didn't gain that much weight. As far as energy, I did have a lot more energy as well with that one. I worked at a daycare, and that was horrible in itself. Not because of the fact that I didn't have energy, but the fact of I hated working at a daycare, taking care of someone else's kids, and then coming home and taking care of my own, as well as being pregnant. It was a tough experience with that, but like I said, I was able to go here, there, wherever I needed to with the first two without much of a problem. I didn't really even get motion sickness with those two, I don't believe, but I will say my hormones were definitely out of whack with the first two. I was always angry, emotional, sensitive, crazy, definitely crazy. Nothing like I am now. Now, I don't know if it's because I've tapped into more spirituality with, during this time, or if it's just the hormones just aren't that bad. And maybe it has to do with the food that I'm eating as well, because I know that, what you eat really affects your body and your hormones and, the way you think and react to things. So I don't know exactly what it is, but my hormones aren't that bad. I can be a little sensitive with this pregnancy, but I don't believe I'm as crazy, or crazy period. I definitely don't get angry. I'm able to control my emotions with this pregnancy. So in that aspect, it's been great. As far as morning sickness, not so much. I get sick, well, I do still get motion sickness. But in the beginning, the first 3 months, the morning sickness was horrible. I was always throwing up. I was always hungry. So I was throwing up even after eating, before eating anything, just like having to stand up. It was horrible. I didn't have any energy. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I was literally tied to my bed. It was so bad that just getting up, even in the afternoon, it was horrible. I would literally sleep until probably 3-4 o'clock. And that's when I started to gain back some energy around that time. I was definitely I kind of still am a nighttime person. Well, I've always been a nighttime person, to be honest, before pregnancies. But during this pregnancy, as far as energy-wise, I've had the most energy at night. So the first 3 months, it was so hard for me. When I cleaned up, it was probably like around 10 that I would be able to clean up my house. It was so hard to get up and cook dinner. It was just so hard. I will definitely say my man stepped up as far as this pregnancy, and has done so much for me, especially he's still doing a lot, but during the first 3 months, it was horrible. He literally did everything. So I couldn't do it. I just didn't have any energy. I just always felt sick, no matter what. Even, like I said, I've been so hungry throughout this pregnancy that I was still sick and still craving food. I was vegan before this pregnancy, so I didn't eat any meat or dairy, and unfortunately, being pregnant with this one, meat is what I crave a lot. It's kind of disgusting. So I definitely eat more meat period. I definitely don't eat, like I said, it's not as bad as the first one, my first pregnancy, because I don't eat fast food really. But I do still crave just everything under the sun. At 6 months, being 6 months now, I don't really have morning sickness. Like I said, I do have motion sickness, so I hate being in the car. I do have to carry peppermints with me wherever I go, and that was definitely my go-to, peppermints in the first 3 months, let alone just waking up. Peppermint gum, peppermints, ginger, it honestly didn't work that well for me. It honestly made me sick. Even the smell of ginger made me sick. I was drinking ginger ale, which I hated because I hate drinking soda. I stopped drinking soda like years ago. So just drinking ginger ale was horrible for me. As far as like peeing, it only made it worse, because with this baby, I've definitely peed so much more than I have throughout my whole entire life. I feel like every 5 seconds I'm in the bathroom. The first two, I definitely don't think it was this bad. I want to say it wasn't. So I'd say the best part about this pregnancy is the hormones. It's not bad. um, I actually had to end up buying a pregnancy pillow. I got the J shape. And at first it was great. It worked out so wonderful. It was so comfy and cushiony. And now, I don't know if it's because I've gotten too big, or I don't know if it's my bed or the sofa, but wherever I lay at, my hips hurt so bad. They're so achy, and the pillow just is not cutting it for me. I've definitely flattened it out. It's just not as comfy. I'm almost kind of wanting to buy another one, but I don't. That one was like, I think $50. So I really don't want to spend any more money because I don't think I'll need it after this. Like I said, this is my last pregnancy, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I definitely sleep with 1,000 pillows already, and they just don't help with my hips, no matter which side I sleep on. And it said that it's best to sleep on your left side, you know, being this far along, for the baby, but it's hard to sleep on either side. It's so uncomfortable. I do miss sleeping on my back and my stomach, and I'm not even a stomach sleeper, but at this point I miss it because, like I said, my hips, ugh, they hurt so bad. Yeah, so I will say that I have gained a lot of weight, so I don't know if that has to do with it. I was 115 from being vegan in October, and this is February, and I'm already 145. So I've definitely gained a lot of weight. I just hope and pray that I will not be 200 pounds like I was with the first one. I can't deal with that. It was so hard losing that weight. It really was. And I was just so unhappy and depressed with the way I looked. And I do not want to get that heavy again. But, you know, I still got about 4 more months to go. So, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not, though. But it's so hard to say no to food. Like I said, I'm always craving food 24/7. Even after I've already eaten, I still want to eat. It's crazy. I definitely crave sweets with this one. Fruits, fresh food. With the first two, like I said, definitely the first one. Definitely my oldest. I loved junk. This one, not as bad, honestly. I do try to eat as much as organic as possible. The first two I formula fed, but this one I'm hoping to breastfeed. I don't know, so we'll see. And with this one, I will definitely say it was a surprise. I had no idea I was pregnant the first month, and I was in so much denial. I didn't even realize that I was until I looked in my closet and I seen there were so many pads left. And I'm like, wait a second, I had to ask my boyfriend. I was like, did you just recently go shopping for me and buy me some pads? Because there's a lot left, and it's like the end of October, and I don't remember having any. He was like, no, not that I know of. So I had to go and look at my cycle calendar, which for some reason I was slipping on that. Usually I'm on top of, but this pregnancy I wasn't, clearly. So I looked at it and I'm like, oh wow, I'm like a whole month late. I should have been at my period. And at the time, I recently, probably the beginning of the month, I had went to the doctors for a kidney infection, and I was on antibiotics. So I was, Googling. I'm like, maybe it's the antibiotics that's doing this. Maybe it's causing a late period. But shortly after that, I realized, when the period wasn't coming, I started getting sick, and it was ridiculous. So I'm like, something is definitely up. I thought maybe, the kidney infection was getting worse. And then, so I waited a week to buy a test, hoping that my period would come, and it did not. So I bought 2 tests, and of course, they were both positives. I'm like, oh, great, crap, I'm pregnant. I was even Googling if antibiotics could make a pregnancy test positive, but of course not. So I was definitely pregnant. So it was definitely a shocker with this one, I will say. So next, I'll let you guys see the gender reveal. But before then, I will say, as far as the whole gender thing, it has been excruciating compared to my first two. My first two, well, I'll say this. I know a lot of people that are pregnant right now at this time, and a lot of people were able to find out what they were having at like 13, 14, 15 weeks. And I'm like, okay, you know, thinking that's going to be me. But I didn't get to the doctor until late. Like I said, I didn't realize I was pregnant. So by the time I did get to the doctor, I was already 18 weeks. And so they did the sono at 19 weeks. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to find out my gender. And I had taken my youngest son with me because he's not in school. And I think the technician was just so over my son because all he kept saying was he was so bored. And I think she was just overhearing that she just did not care to really see what I was having. So I didn't get to find out at 19 weeks. I was really crushed. Now I am 24 weeks. But yeah, so I didn't get to find out. And I luckily had another appointment the next day, which is crazy because this doctor's OBGYN is just so unorganized. Usually I'm used to having appointments, you know, everything taken care of within one day, and not having to come back, you know, back to back as I have been doing with this doctor's. But so I came back the next day, and I'm like, you know, the technician couldn't, you know, figure out what I was having. You know, I heard about the NIPT blood test. Can we do the blood test for gender? And at first the doctor was like, I guess she didn't really know what I was talking about. And then she was like, oh yeah, sure. We can do that, and it's only gonna take 5 days to come back. So I'm like, okay, great. So I let my cousin, my favorite cousin, talk me into doing a gender reveal. So I'm like, all right, it's only gonna take 5 days. It's not gonna be so bad. Then I just wait a little bit more. That'll be fine. So it actually ended up taking 3 weeks. And by that time, I was kind of over, and I didn't know if I really wanted to do the gender reveal because I was just so excited and so nervous to know what I was having. But I let her go ahead and do it, which you guys are about to see, and I'm definitely thankful for it. It was a nerve-wracking experience, just having to wait and not knowing, and just, you know, just all the signs that my cousin was giving me, you know, before it was time for the reveal. It was kind of it was definitely nerve-wracking because she was just throwing me off, like giving me all different signals of what I could have been possibly having. So I don't know if it was a girl, I didn't know if it was a boy, which I just knew it was a boy because she just, you know, the way she was, she's not a good liar. I'll say that. She's definitely not a good liar. So I definitely, it's always been easy for me to read her. So I just knew I was having a boy. And, well, you guys are about to see what I'm having. But before I get into that, because I will end the video, shortly after, with the gender reveal, I will say with this pregnancy, as far as stretch marks, the first one was horrible. I got stretch marks all over the place, and I was pretty small with the first one. And like I said, I was weighing 115 before this pregnancy, so I was pretty small. The smallest actually that I've been since high school. And I will say that I haven't really gotten any stretch marks this time around, and this has probably been a lifesaver. It is 100% organic African shea butter, and this is great. The only thing that, of course, if you ever use shea butter, you have to put in a lot of energy and friction into you know, warming it out and getting it like at a smooth consistency. But this has definitely helped as far as stretch marks. So this is definitely my essential gotta have product at this time, besides food, of course. Yeah, so I will go ahead and stop talking and let you guys see the gender reveal, and I will be coming back with another video on this pregnancy. I will also, like I said in the intro, hopefully be able to do a labor and delivery for you guys. And then I'll also, for the next video, be going further into discussing my whole experience with the OBGYN that I've been seeing, and the process of finding a new one, which I'm in the process of. And just, you know, a few more things, and I'll give you guys some updates. So definitely stay tuned, and, you know, thanks for watching.